Hey folks, how's it going? Chris here from the Ministry of Dice, back once again with another one of my video presentation thingamadoodads, and we're talking Secret Wars combos once again today. I've got some 2-card combos to share with you, fine folks, but these are special combos because they've been given to me by members of the community. So stick around and let's take a look at some Marvel Dice Masters Secret Wars combos that have been community provided. Folks, welcome. Thanks for sticking around. It's time to talk about community 2-card combos and a bit of context for those who may not be familiar with the Ministry of Dice's 2-card combo concept. So this is more often than not used on our podcast. We don't use this idea so much here over on the YouTube channel, but it's a very simple concept. We look for 2-card combos, usually with an applied piece of criteria and an assumption that the 2-card combo would exist within a wider team, but the 2-card combo can support itself. You know, it's a combo that exists across those 2 cards with a certain amount of assumption that, you know, you've got some ramp organised and some useful utility globals that might support the success levels of said combo. And the criteria we applied this time around was the new Dice Masters Secret Wars set, so at least one of the 2 cards in the combo had to be a Secret Wars card in there. And during the podcast segment we did a couple of episodes back, at the back end of the segment we called out to the listening community and said, hey, if anyone else has got any 2-card combos they want to let us know about, then fire them over to us. And this video is just a handful of some of the standout combos that were fired over to me, because the community members who gave me these are not just any old average Joe off the street. These are top table competitors who've given me these combos, prestigious, knowledgeable, esteemed members of the community. So I thought, yeah, I better get these shared. And I've decided not to do it on the podcast. I've decided to do it as a video because it's just kind of nice in it to have the cards on show and show it off and stuff. So if you're a podcast listener and you've been waiting for the 2-card combo follow-up from the episode we did it in, you've not had it because it's here. I've done it as a video, so get over this side and watch the vid. And if you only ever watch the YouTube videos, then I can highly recommend the Ministry of Dice podcast. Not only is it presented by some of the most charming, witty and handsome presenters that you'll ever find in the world of tabletop gaming, let alone in the world of Dice Masters, but it's also got loads of extra, more kind of long-form exploration of thoughts and ideas about the game, so go check that out too. I'll make sure there's a link in the description down below. Great, okay, there's all the intro done, so let's get into it. Let's start talking about some 2-card combos, and let's kick off with, let's see, one of the ones that Dana gave me, shall we? Yes, that's right, folks. So this first combo I've got to share with you was given to me by none other than US national champion Dana, otherwise known online as the General Nemesis. In fact, this was one of several combos that Dana sent over to me, so I might share 2 of his today. Let's see how we get on. But this first one I've got appealed to me because it's just really annoying and really kind of oppressively controlling. That appeals to me because I'm into annoying control, so let's take a look. So the 2 cards that make up the combo are Invulnerability and Anti-Monitor, specifically Anti-Monitor Mobius, the common. Invulnerability is obviously the card from the combo that's from the Secret Wars set. It's a basic action. Let's unpack it a little bit then. So Invulnerability is a 2-cost basic action with the game text that reads, until the end of turn, when one of your attacking character dice is KO'd, return it to the field zone. Then you've got Anti-Monitor Mobius, 5-cost Fist, which reads, when Anti-Monitor attacks, you may KO any number of your character dice. For each that you do, your opponent KOs one of their character dice. So what you want to do is you want to fill your team up with weenies, basically, cheap weenies, and get them bought up and out in the field ASAP. If they've got some handy game text, like a when KO'd effect, like a Harley Quinn, the 2-cost Harley Quinn, the uncommon, from the Superman Kryptonite Crisis, whatever, or just sidekicks, you know, get a sidekick making machine going with Mr. Sinister Global or something, I don't know, whatever. Just get sidekicks out in the field, get weenies out in the field, get your Anti-Monitor out in the field, then line up your Invulnerability, activate it. Then what you want to do in your attack step is attack with Anti-Monitor and all of those weenies. Attack with a lot of them, but they're not going to go through for an attack the weenies because you're going to KO those, or a number of those, with your Anti-Monitor game text. Because they are attacking dice that's been KO'd, they will return to the field for you, but your opponent is going to have to KO an equal number of characters on their side of the table. So it's just kind of this relentlessly annoying process of forcing your opponent into the tough position of having to repeatedly re-roll characters, repay fielding costs, all that kind of good stuff. Over and over and over again. Obviously, there's the chance of them whiffing the characters, or they might find that they can't afford all the fielding costs if they've got high cost fielding costs on their characters, which is, not out of the realms of possibility nowadays. Fielding costs are proper expensive on some good stuff. Also means that you can sneak through some attacks. You're playing a long game to kill your opponent over a couple of hits. Get a few anti-monitors through on level 3 with maybe a couple of other. It depends on the size of your opponent's field, of course, doesn't it, as to how much of that KOing of your own stuff you want to do. But what it also means is that with invulnerability, your field will not be vacated. Your attacking weenies that you've chosen to KO will go back into your field because of the invulnerability game effect, and that will mean that you're not in a dangerous position where you've left your field open for a horrific backswing from your opponent or anything like that. And the invulnerability brings with it the lovely global, where you can bump up the stats. So get 3 bolts together and a level 3 anti-monitor, clear down your opponent's field, and it's only 2 swings with an anti-monitor and you've got it. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that. Placing your opponent in that really rickety position, that really uncertain position where they're just always relying on the odds to re-roll their characters in. And when they do re-roll them in, they've got to pay fielding costs and what have you, and you can do loads of stuff to really expand that combo, to really take it into other places, like with when KO'd effects that could be even more tricky for your opponent to deal with, or I don't know, things like the Captain Britain, the new Captain Britain, that means your opponent can't field characters at level 3, so it's increasing the number of sides that the re-roll is going to be ineffective for them, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like a championship winning combo by any stretch of the imagination, but as far as looking for something really janky combo wise that's going to be fun and just require you and your opponent to do a lot of dice stuff, that's nice, but your opponent's got negative dice stuff to do and you've got fun dice stuff to do. So really into that one. Thanks, Dana. That's a great contribution and a wonderful combo. Next combo then, folks, and this one was given to me by the Ministry of Dice's very own North American correspondent, Andy America, the legend that is Andy May, another top table competitor at Memphis last year. He had an exceptional weekend, and fair play to him because he's a great player. But this combo actually was inspired by an experience he had drafting, and he sent me a couple of notes about his draft experience, and this combo stood out to him as one that A, is good for draft, but B, has perhaps some legs on it for some casual constructed play. Let me show you the cards that Andy put up in front of me. It was the Beast, Genius Intellect, the uncommon from the set, and Agent Brand, Agent of Sword. So Beast is the kind of main cornerstone of this combo, with his game effect that reads, while Beast is active, when you field a fist character die, choose one. Option 1, deal 2 damage to target character die. Option 2, target character die gets +2 attack. And then Agent Brand, the rare, she's a low-cost fist to feed that Beast engine, and her game effect reads, when fielded, 2 target character dice get +1 attack. So this is just all about taking low-cost characters and escalating the level of threat that they present to your opponent and being able to get them in action quickly. Like, you could buy a Beast turn 1, you could buy an Agent Brand turn 2 and prep, and you've got both of them lined up ready to go in turn 3 and start your combo off. So there's just options, really, loads of options. Obviously, Agent Brand gives a little bit of a stat bump with the act of fielding her, but with Beast out in the field, you can then use him to shoot something off, maybe get rid of a little weenie, an early doors blocker like a sidekick or whatever, or use his secondary game effect there, which gives another stat bump. So an Agent Brand, in theory, hitting the field could give you 3 power off her level 3, then +2 attack across whatever you've got out, from her when fielded game effect, and then could trigger Beast, which gives something else +2 attack. So in turn 3, if you've got a sidekick, a Beast, and then you field an Agent Brand, you could, in theory, have a 4 attack Beast, a 2 attack sidekick, then a 3 attack Agent Brand. So where am I? I've lost count there. What am I? I'm at 9. Then if your opponent's field is clear in turn 3, give the sidekick or Agent Brand +2 attack with the beast. So what's that? 11. You could be doing 11 attack into an open field in turn 3 with that combo. Or if the opponent has put a sidekick out, shoot it off with beast and walk through for 9 instead, whatever. I mean, obviously it's a bit of a glass cannon, but I think there's something really janky and fun in that. And there's no shortage of low-cost fist characters that have got other things going on that can give it a bit of a mid-game and long-game effectiveness as well. I'm thinking Wong, or the one where you could pay a mass to field it. You can get Corvus Glaives in the mix. There's loads of 2-cost and 3-cost fists that you could drop out there and take advantage of those game effects with. Now, in the draft context, pulling the rare Agent Brand is a little bit more difficult. So one of the things that Andy initially suggested was to talk about Spider-Man Peter Parker. He's vanilla, he's max 2, so he's not ideal, but he's got a great stat line. He only costs 2, and banging out a level 3 Spider-Man Peter Parker with a beast genius intellect could give you a 7 attack Spider-Man for a 2 cost that you could throw over the field in turn 3, or shoot a weenie blocker that your opponent's got out and walk over for 5, So there's a lot of potential. It's just got decisions that you'll have to make. You'll have to be sort of a bit tactical about which one of the beast options you use, and there's some timing involved to make sure you've got fist characters lined up to be fielded to trigger his effects. But yeah, it's just fun. It's got options, it's got things going on, there's energy about it. It's quite a dynamic little combo. I mean, with this pair specifically, you could do some stuff maybe with that selection of affiliations. There's like 4 different affiliations there, so you can add another layer on. So as a kind of central 2-card combo to play around with some ideas, that's a pretty decent one. Certainly one to look out for in draft. That ping damage from Beast alone, I think, could do some work in draft, but stat bumping in draft is good in that way as well. But it'll help you keep control of your opponent's field, give them tough decisions, and it could put your opponent on the back foot really fast in a game, and that's all really cool. That's all really interesting. So thanks, Andy. Love the combo. Right then, next combo on the list. And this was another one that was in Dana's note over to me. But Dana wasn't the only person to suggest this combo. And if I'm being honest, I'd already clocked this one for myself. And while I'm not necessarily what you would consider a top table competitor, I think I'm a half decent brewer. So I'm going to, even though it's actually one of Dana's, I'm going to claim it for myself because I was already onto this one. Definitely already onto this one. And I'm pretty sure some others will have clocked it too. The combo is very simple. It centers on the Apocalypse rare. Baron there, 6-cost bolt with a game effect that reads, while Apocalypse is active, when you could use a global ability, you may pay a bolt and a mask and field sidekicks from your use pile and bag until you have 4 sidekicks in the field zone. And pairing it up with something like Jubilee, X-Men Field Leader. This is the super rare from the Dark Phoenix Saga set. She's a 4-cost bolt that reads, while Jubilee is active, when you field a character die, she deals 1 damage to your opponent and 1 damage to target character die. So loads of opportunity there to really just get right up in your opponent's face. The key element to this is the fact that Apocalypse's game effect says field the sidekick characters, and so that act of fielding will initiate the when you field a character die aspect of the Jubilee game effect. So with an Apocalypse and a Jubilee in the field, admittedly a total of 4 purchase costs and an absolute shat ton of fielding costs, but with those 2 out, when you initiate your Apocalypse game effect and field your 4 sidekicks, you're dealing 4 damage to your opponent and 4 character damage across the board there, which is just really sweet. Lots of opportunity there, lots of things you could do with that. Now Dana, because he's a canny lad, he suggested another layer on this, which was the Harley Quinn, Gang of Harleys. This is the super rare from the Superman Kryptonite Crisis set. She's a 5-cost mask, and she reads, while Harley Quinn is active, your sidekick dice gain +1 attack, +1 defense, and when fielded, deal 2 damage to target character die. So an even more expensive combo with a 6-cost and a 5-cost there. But if you set it up, when you fire off your Apocalypse Baron game effects and field your 4 sidekicks, you'll then have 4 2/2 sidekicks in the field, and you'll have 8 character damage to shoot across at your opponent's dice. So again, lots of opportunity to clear down what your opponent's got going on. Lots of opportunity to get really up in their face. And what does it matter to you attacking with those sidekicks and letting your opponent letting them through, or blocking them and KOing them, because you'll just get them back next turn, or do more stuff with the energy that you've got in prep. Or if they go through and they're in used, you'll just get 4 more next turn with your Apocalypse Global. So, well, it's not even a global, your Apocalypse effect that can be played in the global window. So that was a nice little twist. I've also heard some folks talking about it in terms of throwing the Thor Jormungand's Sphere, but I think 2/6 costs may be a bridge too far. Now, one my man Andy England, my partner in crime over on the Ministry of Dice podcast, suggested was using this with the Hellfire Gala. So this is the Alt WinCon promo basic action there that says, when played, you can roll 2 dice from your bag, and each player then fields 3 sidekicks from their used pile, and if there is 16 or more dice in the field zone, win the game. So he suggested that this Apocalypse Baron game effect, where you're going to get another 4 characters into the field like that, is just a nice combo piece to help you get to that magical number of 16 to win the game. So nice combo piece there. But yeah, Apocalypse Baron, this act of fielding 4 sidekicks from your used pile in your bag, is just really interesting. And there's nice combo pieces to use that to clear fields, to deal damage, or to go for an alt WinCon, which I think is really super cool. And definitely one I'm going to play around with for sure. I'll tell you what, folks, we really could call this selection of combos I've made this video around today the Memphis selection, because my 4th and final combo for this video today, I've got more to come, so watch this space, but my 4th and final one is from the TO of that event, Nick Worley, otherwise known online as the Jackalope Spam. He sent this one over to me. He was interested in the fact that I was looking at the Cosmic Cube Epic Basic Action. This one had intrigued me, and I've been playing around with it recently. This is a 6-cost Epic Basic Action, which reads, switch life totals with your opponent. Now, the Epic Basic Actions come with a number of small prints and caveats, the least of which is that you have to have a 4-cost or higher card in the field in order to buy and use an Epic Basic Action. But this is his plan. He wants to use it with Deken, the uncommon Deken from the Dark Phoenix Saga set. So Deken Obsessed is a 4-cost shield, and his game effect reads, while Deken is active, if you take combat damage, you may use an action die from either player's used pile. So the plan here is fairly straightforward. What you want to do is get your Deken out in the field. You then want to load up on force attack stuff, so Mr. Fantastic Global, Monsieur Malacards, whatever. Just put your opponent in a position where they're forced to attack you turn after turn after turn. And then when the time is right, and the timing really has to be, you've got to plan it. When the timing's right, get your Cosmic Cube bought so that it's sitting in the used pile in your opponent's turn. Force them to attack you with whatever you got going to allow you to do that. I would probably look at things like, I don't know, the 1-cost Harley Quinn, just get loads of masks together and really spam the Taunt Global or something. But get your opponent to attack you, get them to deal you a bucket ton of damage, but then, as you take that combat damage, trigger the Cosmic Cube from the used pile with the Deken game effect. And by doing so, you switch life totals with your opponent in their turn, ready to swing over and finish them off in their go while their field is low, if not empty, because you just forced all their stuff to attack. So it's just a real, I don't know, it's a bit gotcha, perhaps a bit more gotcha than I'm into, but it can really change the dynamic of what's going on in the game, because if your opponent clocks what's going on, they're going to be very wary, very careful about how they go about attacking. They're going to have to divert from their own win condition to perhaps lean into any control they've brought that might prevent you from using globals and such like, which is expensive. Global control's expensive stuff. It's all 4, 5, 6 cost characters with high fielding costs and such like, so they've got to go for a diversion, and then they've got to foot the bill to get that control in place. Folks aren't really using much global control at the moment because of the high cost of the characters. By the time you get them out, it's kind of a bit late anyway. It's nice because you can manage your opponent potentially buying your Cosmic Cube out from under you, because Deken allows you to play it from either player's used pile. So yeah, buy my Cosmic Cube, I'll still get my hands on it one way or another, so that's nice. He's a big beefy character himself. He's got a stat line 044 155 266, so he can stand firm and be that backswing to finish your opponent off with whatever the total is that you just switched with them, in case it's, because you might not go all the way down to the line. They might have 4, 5 or 6 or so life left at the time at which you trigger it, so he can be a part of that attacking force to finish your opponent off. He's fairly cheap at a 4, and it's not hard to get your hands on a Cosmic Cube for cheap nowadays with things like your Thor Global, your Dark Phoenix Global. You can get your hand on the 6 cost Cosmic Cube pretty straightforwardly as well. So yeah, really interesting combo there. I like the way that it shifts the dynamic of the gameplay. It forces your opponent to have to think a bit more cautiously. My man Andy described the use of the Cosmic Cube in a game I played with him the other day as unnerving. It's a bit unnerving, and the Ken just adds an extra layer to that state of unnerve. Throw in some extra lose life stuff like your Poison Ivy plant tokens, your Blink Global Canceller, your Loki removal. I don't know, if you're playing Golden, get K-Bish in there, although there's a better team to use the common K-Bish in. I'm just not ready to reveal it to the world just yet. Loads of opportunity, loads of fun. You can build a team around it, but the 2-card combo stands on its own pretty rock solid. Yeah, so that's nice. You just need to support it with some good utility globals like the taunts on Doctor Strange. And what else has got a taunt? Is it Doomsday? I think it's Doomsday. Is that the Bolt Taunter? Can't remember. Is that Force Block? I get muddled in my head. Anyway, you all know how to find a taunt global. So yeah, there we go. There's Nick's contribution to my community 2-card combos today, and what a contribution it is! It's awesome, isn't it? Right then, folks, I think that will do for today. I've just had a quick look at the runtime on the clock there, and it's getting to be a bit of a long video. I'll come back with more content of this nature and use some of the other stuff that folks have sent over to me to get you other great combo ideas over so that you can take a look, play around with them for yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed what the guys have sent over and provided you through me today. Let us know down in the comments below if you've got any thoughts or ideas as to how you can expand upon those combos and form teams around them, what you like, what you dislike, all that good stuff. Let us know. And that's it. I'm done. Let's not, it's a long video now, so I'll wrap it up there. Thanks so very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, folks. Keep an eye out for more follow-ups on this subject. And yeah, come on, Chris. I just got to learn how to end videos, don't I? So I'm just going to end it now.